1 inch of rain falling on an average American roof drops about 600 gallons of clean water straight onto your property. For free. Every single storm. And here is the part almost nobody believes when they first hear it. Collecting that water is legal in all 50 states right now, today. No matter what your neighbor told you, for most of the last century, people were told the opposite. They were made to believe that catching the rain off your own roof would get you fined or even arrested. So who told us that? And if it was never really illegal, why did almost everyone stop doing it? Because here is the thing, catching rain is not some fringe survival trick. It is one of the oldest and most reliable water systems humans ever built. 3,000 years ago, in the deserts of the Middle East, entire cities ran on it. Archaeologists have found stone cisterns carved into bedrock that stored a full year of rainfall for a household. The Romans built rooftop catchment into their villas as a standard feature, not a backup, the main supply. Water ran off tiled roofs, through settling basins, into sealed underground tanks that stayed cool and clean for months. Whole cities were designed around it. In parts of the ancient Mediterranean, a house was not considered finished until it had a cistern under it. Closer to home, this was normal life in America for generations. Walk onto almost any 19th-century farm and you would find a cistern beside the house, fed straight off the roof. Rainwater was actually prized. It is soft. No minerals, no limescale. Farm families used it for washing, for laundry, for the garden because it was gentler than the hard well water underground. So for thousands of years across every continent, catching the rain that fell on your own roof was simply what you did. It was free, it was clean enough for the job, and no one thought twice about it. Which makes what happened next so strange. The shift came with the pipe. In the early 20th century, cities began running municipal water lines out to more and more homes. Turn a tap, water appears. No tank to maintain, no roof to keep clean. For most families, that was the end of the cistern. Not because anyone forced them to stop, because the utility made it effortless, and effortless almost always wins. But out in the dry western states, something else happened, and this is where the illegal story actually comes from. Those states run on a legal idea called prior-appropriation. First in time, first in right. Whoever claimed a stream 100 years ago owns that water, all the way up to the rain that would have flowed into it. So on paper, in a handful of dry western states, the rain on your roof was technically spoken for by whoever held the downstream water right. That is the seed of the whole myth. But here is what got lost as the story spread. That rule only ever touched a few states, and even there it was written for large diversions and reservoirs, not a single barrel sitting under your gutter. Somewhere along the way, a narrow water rights technicality in Colorado and a couple of its neighbors hardened into a nationwide belief that catching the rain would get anyone, anywhere in trouble with the law. It never did. For the overwhelming majority of the country, there was never a rule against it at all. And we will come back to exactly what is true today, state by state, because the real map is nothing like the rumor. Now let me be straight with you, because this channel does not do fear. Nobody in a back room banned the rain. A few old water laws in dry states just made people nervous, and the nervousness spread far past the states it applied to. So let's talk about what is actually true, starting with that 600-gallon number because it sounds too big. Here is the math, and you can check it. 1 inch of rain drops about 620 gallons onto 1,000 square feet of roof. Most American homes have far more than 1,000 square feet of roof, so a single 1-inch storm can easily hand you 600 gallons or more, running off the shingles you already own into a barrel that costs about $40. And think about how often that happens. A typical summer thunderstorm can drop an inch of rain in under an hour. If you live somewhere that gets 30 30 inches of rain a year, your roof is shedding tens of thousands of gallons of clean water annually. Right now, for most people, every drop of that runs down the driveway and into the storm drain, completely wasted. There is one more thing those farm families knew that we forgot. Rainwater is soft. It has almost no dissolved minerals, which means no limescale, no hard water spots. And plants tend to love it more than treated tap water. So it is not just free. For a garden, it is arguably better than what comes out of your hose. That is the promise on the thumbnail. Delivered. Real number, real water, legal in every state. The whole system is almost embarrassingly simple, and that is why it lasted 3,000 years. Rain hits your roof, it runs to the gutter. The gutter runs to a downspout. You cut that downspout and send it into a barrel or a tank instead of onto the lawn. That is the entire idea. The one part worth doing right is the top of the barrel. You want a fine mesh screen over the inlet. It keeps out leaves and, more importantly, it keeps out mosquitoes, which cannot breed in water they cannot reach. There are really 3 levels to this, and you can start at whichever fits your budget. Level 1 is a single food-grade barrel under one downspout, screened with a spigot near the bottom. $40 one afternoon, done. That alone will fill in a single storm. Level 2 is linking 3 or 4 barrels together with short pipe near the base, so when the first fills, the rest fill in sequence. Now you are holding 200 or 300 gallons for the price of a few barrels and some fittings. Level 3 is a single large cistern, the way those old farms did it, sitting on a gravel pad or buried, holding 1,000 gallons or more. That is a weekend project and real money. But it turns a rainy month into a summer's worth of garden water. For a bigger supply, you link barrels together or step up to a single large cistern, exactly like those farm families did. The water sits cool, and with a sealed screen tank, it stays usable for a long time, and it genuinely moves the needle on your bill. Outdoor use, mostly lawns and gardens, makes up close to 1/3 of the average household's water. And in summer, it climbs higher than that. So if the rain is watering your garden, your meter is not. In a dry, hot summer, that is the difference between a water bill that climbs every month and one that barely moves. This is the version of free water that is actually true. Not free plumbing for your whole house, free water for everything outside it, which is where most of your water quietly goes. Which brings us to the one thing that can turn this from smart to genuinely illegal. And it is a plumbing mistake, not a legal one. We are about halfway. Everything so far has been the good news. Now the part I promised at the start, the one mistake that can take this from perfectly legal to a real fine. It is not collecting the water, it is connecting it wrong. If you ever pipe rainwater into your house for toilets or laundry, and you tie it into the same plumbing that carries your drinking water without a proper backflow preventer, you have created what codes call a cross-connection. That is the genuine violation. Not because the rain is illegal, but because you have risked pushing untreated water back into a clean drinking supply, possibly your neighbors too. That is what inspectors actually fine, and they are right to. The fix is simple and cheap. Keep your rainwater system completely separate from your drinking water plumbing, or install a code-approved backflow device and have it signed off. And the state limits, the ones that started the whole illegal rumor? Here is the honest map. In about 40 states, there is no volume limit at all on rooftop collection. A few western states do cap it or ask you to register. Colorado limits a home to about 110 gallons, roughly 2 barrels. Utah lets you store up to 2,500 gallons, but it wants a free online registration above 100. Nevada asks for a simple waiver. That is the whole ban. 2 barrels in one state, a free form in another. Everywhere else, collect as much as your roof will give you. And if this honest, old systems way of thinking is your kind of thing, water is actually one piece of a bigger set of these methods. We pulled the whole passive no-power system together over at oldwaysrestored.com. No pressure, it is there if you want it. Back to the rain. So should you actually do this? Honestly, it depends on where you live and what you want out of it. If you are somewhere with real dry spells, the southwest, the Sunbelt, big chunks of the west, a rain barrel or two is one of the cheapest upgrades you can make. You catch water in the wet months and lean on it when the meter would hurt most. If you're in a wet climate with cheap water, the savings are smaller. But the free, soft water for your garden is still worth the $40 and an afternoon. Now the honest limits, because every real method has them. First, this water is not drinking water. Straight off a roof, it picks up dust, bird droppings, whatever is on your shingles. It is excellent for lawns, gardens, washing and flushing. It is not for your kitchen tap without serious filtration. Second, check your own city and your HOA, not just your state. A state can allow it while a local rule still restricts a tank in your front setback. 2 minutes on your city water department's site settles it. Third, keep it sealed and screened. An open barrel of standing water is a mosquito nursery, and that is the one way a good idea turns into a real nuisance. Get those 3 right and there is almost no downside. A $40 barrel, an afternoon of work and rain you were already letting run down the storm drain. And let me put a real number on the payoff, because that is what actually matters. Say you run 2 linked barrels and use them through the watering season. In a dry summer state where water is expensive, offsetting your outdoor use can save a household somewhere in the range of $100 to $200 a year on the bill. That barrel setup paid for itself the first summer. Everything after that is free water for years, off equipment that has no motor, no filter to replace, and nothing to break. Over 5 years, that is a few $100s back in your pocket for one afternoon of setup. There are not many home upgrades that math works out that cleanly on. So back to where we started. Was free water ever really illegal? No, not the way we were told. The rain on your roof was never banned across this country. What actually happened is quieter and more human. The city pipe made it effortless. A few dry states tangled it up in century-old water law, and a rumor did the rest. One man is a big part of why we know that. In Tucson, Arizona, a man named Brad Lancaster spent years proving that catching rain off a roof in the desert was not just legal, it was one of the smartest things a homeowner could do. His work helped push cities to actively encourage what people once feared was against the law. So here is where you start, and it is genuinely simple. 1 barrel, $40. Put it under a downspout, screen the top, and run it to your garden. Watch how fast it fills in a single storm. Check 3 things first: your state's limit, which for most of you is none, your city and HOA rules, and keep it screened and separate from your drinking water. That is it. If this cleared up something you were never told the truth about, subscribe. We rebuild one honest old world skill every week: the real history, the real numbers, and the real limits, so you can actually use it. And if you want the rest of these passive, no-power home systems in one place, the whole honest set is over at oldwaysrestored.com, water included. Again, only if it is useful to you. Right on screen now is the one I would watch next. The $300 earth tube that cooled a whole house to 55 degrees with no electricity at all. Same idea as today. The rain and the ground both doing the work for free. The rain is already falling on your roof. It always was. Now you know it is yours to keep.